Studio web interface.
Oh, you don't say. Oh, wow. I can? Oh, wow. I might switch back to OBS. Low key, I might hop back to OBS. I'm not even gonna hold you. I gotta miss OBS. I'm not even gonna hold you. I've been using vMix for like 2 months, and I like it, but like, it works really well for guests when it's working. But I don't know. I think it's time that we move back. It might be. Anyway, what's up, guys? What's up, YouTube? What's up? I am sick, so we're gonna have a short fucking fuse today. I tell you what. Oh. I see people keep using meld. I don't know if that's any good. What did I level up to in Pokemon Go? 35. I was only level 30 when the thing happened. Why is Twitch not notifying you? Because Twitch is fascist. I'm just kidding, Twitch. Twitch. That was a joke. Although you are run by Amazon. I'm just kidding. Also, remember, guys, we do still have the... I gotta keep remembering to post the link. The toy drive is still going. Consider buying toys for the toy drive. There's a new COVID strain across China, and the UK. Wonder if it's in North America, but no one is testing anymore. Probably. Maybe that's what I got. Maybe I got COVID. Oh, shit. We've gotten a bunch of stuff for the drive. Yeah. You guys will see it all when we do our wrapping stream. We're going to do a stream where we just wrap all the presents. Number 4 is not fully visible on YouTube screen. Oh, you're right. I'm sailing away. Set an open course for the Virgin Sea. I've got to be free. Hey, Jovan, been so for a bit. I love how you articulate your points both professionally and in layman words. Hey, thank you. How's that, YouTube? Is that better for you?
Thank you, Boo.
Thank you to those who do sub over on YouTube, especially if you sub, especially if you're a member. Shout out to you if you're a member. Do you remember 29th of September? This, speaking of the toy drive, okay, oh, wait, that's not what I wanted. We also have, wait, huh? Wait, what? I don't know if you guys, a lot of you are newer, so you don't know about the Christmas theme song. We have a Christmas theme song. I don't know if you know that. Let me get it. I want you guys to hear the Christmas theme song. I've got to be free. Join us too early. It's never too early for Christmas. We have a Halloween theme song too. Oh shit, we have a Halloween theme song. I keep forgetting about all these fucking theme songs that we have. Oh wait. Hold on. John, know we had a Halloween theme song? Here, listen to it. I have to set this for the.
Eating your brains for the dumb thing you just said.
I forgot about this.
Some kind of demon spawn, but they just get their dark magic and power from Jovan.
Totally forgot.
No hex or exorcism drives them away. They will haunt you every night and day. Lock the door and hide under your covers too. Bradley's baddies are coming for you.
Yeah, totally forgot about that. Totally forgot. I do want a different name for the community at some point. Hey, thank you, Zach, for the super chat. Free Palestine, I agree. Who made it? My friend Frank. No. I'm reading you guys' suggestions. No. I haven't seen a single suggestion that makes me go, ooh. It should be something like close to solidarity, you know? Something that shows that we're like leftists, you know? Oh yeah, I start decorating for Christmas the second midnight on Halloween. I start midnight the day on November 1st. Midnight November 1st, I start decorating for Christmas. I'm a Christmas boy. I mean, I love Halloween too, but like I'm a Christmas boy. Oh, Christmas boy. How Christmas is your Christmas? Oh, Crimbus boy, how Crimbus boy, Crimbus. Oh, Crimbus boy, with Christmas toys for Christmas boys. Pause. Pause. Guys, I'm adding a bunch of children's books to the toy drive. Swear to God, if any of these, please God, if you look through and you see any of these are AI, please let me know. I'm not like analyzing them that heavily. The Bradley Collective? No. I don't know that I want my name in it. How lovely are your branches? Oh, Quizmas boys. I really love Quizmas. It's Christmas time on Christmas time. There's a Christmas time with Christmas mimes. All right, I added a bunch of books to the toy drive. Is there anything I'm missing in that toy drive? I don't know. You guys, nobody has given me anything I like so far. Sorry. I haven't seen a single one that I like. Why you singing Christmas when spooky season isn't over? Because I'm a Christmas boy. Don't get me wrong, I love spooky season too. I haven't gone to Halloween Horror Nights, and Freddy is right there. I like can't justify waiting in line for 400 minutes for the houses. I can't do it. I want to. Put some beginner instruments in there. If I was a parent and I took my kid to a Christmas event and they got a bunch of musical instruments, I would want to burn that event to the ground. Just saying. You aren't a parent? No, I just meant if I was a parent who took my kid to one of those events. That's all I'm saying. Okay, chat. I don't want to be mean, but you guys haven't given me a single good one so far. There's Play-Doh on the list. You just got to scroll down. The list is long, so if you go and click on the toy drive list, don't just get something right from the top. There's a lot of stuff on there, and the stuff for the older kids is more towards the bottom. So please don't leave out the older kids, you know. Although we do have harmonicas on the list, and I think somebody already bought a bunch of harmonicas. And we have a guitar. We're gonna if somebody gets the guitar, one of the bigger things, the guitar is going to be one of the raffle items. Will be a guitar, because we're gonna try to raffle off some bigger items. Pin the list in Twitch chat. Oh sure. I don't want another pretty face. I don't want just anyone home. I don't want my love gone away. I wanted you in your beautiful soul. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, 2025 toy drive. There it is on Twitch. Let me pin it. Someone said, I wonder if this guy set up a private line that charges you by the minute. Yeah, it charges me by the minute. I'm the one who pays for it. I don't remember how much it costs me to have people call in. I know every minute that I sit on the line waiting for calls is 3 cents. Or it's like 0.3 cents or something. I don't know. I don't pay attention. How can God be evil if he's not real? They're like, I don't mean to be rude, but y'all can't be that dumb, right? Fictional characters can be evil in the world in which they inhabit, you know? We're probably going to do an office hours tomorrow as long as I don't die. What are the name suggestions for? We're just trying to think of what to name our little community. How could you make fun of Jimmy's weird intro songs? He's saying, "Oh, Christmas boy." No fucking facts. Real. The jobless losers. You're also sitting in a YouTube chat at 10:58 a.m., my boy. Where's your job? Do they know you're on your phone right now? I mean, I'm probably not going to go to the protest anyway because I'm sick, but, you know. Do we need a name? Everybody needs a name. Why is your R2 unit red? Because it's mine. I made it. People have days off. You do this every day. I bet you on welfare. Sure, Jan. Sure. I run a mildly successful YouTube channel because I'm on welfare. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Absolutely. Sure. 100%. Makes total sense. Yep. Where are the callers? They're chicken. Bro, you know they're scared. Like, why? Like, we have the same conversation every day. They don't call in because they're scared. I need a chicken sound effect. That's what I need. Let's see. What do we got? No. I like that one. It's a new Pokemon game worth playing? I don't fucking know. I think Jimmy played it last night, didn't he? You have to ask Jimmy. I'll ask him. We're supposed to be starting off part of the charity stream for the line this weekend tonight. If we do, I'll ask him tonight. No one likes you, dumbass. Okay. I mean, 300,000 people like me on Instagram. 60,000 like me on YouTube. 100,000 like me on TikTok. Seems like I'm doing okay. Get a job, leftist. What do you think this is? What do you think I'm doing right now? I'm clocked in right now, homie. Just because, like, you hate your job don't mean nothing. But I'm clocked the fuck in, bro. Okay. So now I go to this. I can go to this. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Now we can add the chicken. Wait, what? Did it not save? That is not correct. You're begging for money on Cash App. You can't be making that much because I have a tip line open. You know people don't have to pay me on Cash App, right, my G? I know that must be a strange concept for you. I know you probably like spend all your money on like OF models, which is fine. You know, I support them OF models, but you tip them. Why can't I get a tip? I don't do nearly as much labor, but tips for talking, tips for the entertainment, dipshit. Fucking Christ, you people are stupid. Fuck, you people are dumb. Here we go. Now I can do this. This is all the Maga in the chat. So is this, by the way. This is all the Maga in the chat right now. This is what you sound like. This is what the mag in the chat sound like right here. This. Hear this? Hear that? Do you hear that? That's you. Crazy. Crazy. You know what? If you guys want to piss off YouTube chat, send a Cash App right now. Piss them off. I'll read out every single message and amount to really fucking goat their shit. For people that got all excited about no cash on tips, y'all really get mad at people asking for tips, huh? I don't understand why is he playing MAGA clips. That's good. That's funny. MAGA is very delicate. I agree. MAGA is very delicate. Very delicate. That delicate little MAGA. I gotta get everything ready for tonight. I think I don't remember. I think their SSA is what the line charity stream is for this weekend. I might be wrong though. I should probably double check that. All right. We got some calls. Apparently, Trump failed. Haha. Thank you for the super chat. Said, fire up. Chips doesn't know how to change a tire. Yo, that's fucking funny. Seems like you're triggered AF. Yes, I am actually. Yemye, thank you for the $10 Cash App. Yemye said, I'm more of a man than MAGA, a trans man. Yo, true. You're way more of a man than MAGA are. Darius, thank you for the $5 of Cash App, said for contributing to your real job wages. That's good. Love that for you. Damn, you salty? I just made what you make in an hour in 2 seconds. That darn minimum wage. If only there were people pushing for it to be higher. Oh, wait. Oh, shit. Oh, wait. Oh, my God. I am. It's me. Zachary, thank you for the $40 Cash App, said Jovan just made more than you hourly with this tip. That's crazy, bro. Spencer, thank you for the $10 Venmo, said any MAGA in chat, enjoy having your kids cut out of your lives. Oh, shit. Damn. That's crazy. Anthony, thank you for the $5 Cash App, said MAGA are too busy eating out Trump's esophagus. Holy shit, bro. Yo, y'all are going in, dude. Holy shit. God damn. Okay, let's start taking calls. Shit. Oh, God, that's funny. Anyway, we're going to bring up onto stream, we're going to bring up Charlie. Charlie wants to talk about the Christian God. Wants to discuss the morality of the Christian God. Charlie, can you give me your age and pronouns, please?
27, he, him.
Okay, Charlie, 27, he, him, wants to talk about the Christian God. Charlie, are you a Christian?
No, I'm agnostic.
Okay. So what specifically about the Christian God did you want to talk about?
I wanted to talk about, I guess, the philosophical and theological assertion that he is evil, that that God and the concept that you're laying out, I guess, to other people is that he is evil. I myself don't believe that. I don't believe in God, but I don't deny that God could exist. Therefore, the agnosticism.
Okay, well, under a purview that the Christian God does exist, I would say he's definitely evil. Yeah.
What kind of how do you prove that morally? Like, where's your morals come from if he is evil? Like, how do you apply moralistically? Where are you coming from morally?
Well, so I usually level my morals on some semblance of like harm. So like whatever's doing the most harm, I would say is the most immoral. You know, the more harm is added to this thing, the more immoral it is. And I would say God causes like the most harm out of anything because he invented harm. He created harm. Harm only exists because of him.
Is that because of so harm only exists because of him, because of free will?
Well, because he created everything.
Well, I know, but he created creatures that have the power to exert free will. Therefore, there is the possibility of moral
Except for
evil.
Yes, except for the times he gets rid of our free will. But yeah.
And what times does he get rid of our free will?
He got rid of Pharaoh's free will during Exodus. When he tells Moses to go tell Pharaoh to let his people go, he says, but I'm going to harden Pharaoh's heart so Pharaoh won't let your people go. And then he kills a bunch of Egyptian children because of it. Seems kind of weird if you want your people to have. I also just think it's weird that if you want your people to have free will, you punish them for engaging in that free will. Like I could be the most moral person on the planet. I could do nothing but good, right? I could live my entire life dedicated to the service of other people and the betterment of other people. But if I don't believe God exists, I go to hell. Just
Right.
seems kind of vain, if you ask me.
I guess it could be seen as vain. I see it as like I cannot deny within myself that because I have not experienced Jesus, or I have not experienced God in a way that I accept them wholeheartedly into my heart, that there is a possibility that if he does exist, that I will be going to hell. Moralistically speaking, since I go by Christian values, I live my life to the fullest, and I try to, like you said, like exert the least amount of pain as possible. So I guess I personally am picking and choosing what aspect of a moral standard that I use in my life. So I guess I'm protecting myself from the idea, and I think subconsciously I'm protecting myself from the idea that there's a possibility of moral evil because like we're free creatures and we're allowed to do whatever we want. So the idea of not being able to, like I'm not going to hurt somebody. I'm not going to go out of my way to cause pain. And I'm not saying that I'm morally better than those that believe in the Christian God, and then therefore they think that it's okay to cause some amount of pain. Because I think the Christian defense would be that there is a possibility that some suffering may lead to like the greater good. Like almost like a parent like allowing their kids to go through like some sort of like hardship and not like preventing them from
what is
that hardship.
what is the greater good of like babies getting cancer?
I do not know. I like so a Christian would say, as far as like as a former Christian, I guess they would be like, we cannot comprehend God's all-knowing power or whatever.
I think that's I think that line of argument is a cop out because they know that if they logically, if you had a human who, like, if I attained the power of godhood and I did all the things that God does, they would say I'm evil. But apologetics means they have to come up with any defense for God. So their defense is, well, we don't know God's mind. We don't know what God's planning. It's just it's lazy. It's a lazy form of argument. Like if that's going to be, if I'm debating with a Christian and that's going to be their rebuttal to what I'm saying, then like at that point, don't have the debate.
No, I can understand that. It's just like you can't disprove it either. That's the problem with like Christians.
I don't have to disprove it.
that.
I don't have to disprove God is real.
No,
I'm not making
not,
a positive claim there.
no. The claim that there's these unjustifiable evils, and so from our point of view, like we don't understand the omniscient standpoint. We don't understand like the omniscience of it. Like,
yeah,
so
I can't conceive of a world. I can't conceive of a world in which giving babies cancer is a good thing. I can't even conceive of that world. There's nothing and no level of justification that I think can exist for that.
Okay. So do you believe that morality is like subjective?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe morality is inherently subjective, but people have objective moral views. So like morality is objective, but I think that for example, genocide is an objectively bad thing. Like to me, it's objectively bad. So while morality in general is subjective, yeah, you personally can have objective standards of morality.
Okay. So would you think that a Christian, someone who believes in God, like they would have an objective moral
no, they also have a subjective moral framework. The subject would just be God. Right? When we talk about morals, objective and subjective just mean mind dependent or mind independent. So like God's morality is still subjective because it's dependent on God's mind.
Yeah, but the Christians believe that God is the source of objective morality. So
Yep,
that's the contradiction.
I mean, you can say it's still subjective because it's to God's mind, but you can say God has objective moral things where he's very staunch on these stuff. But I would say no, he isn't. When we look at the Bible, God's changed his mind on what is or is not morally permissible all the time. So then, by nature of him allowing or disallowing things at will, that leads us right back to this is subjective in nature.
Yeah.
Would one of your examples be? Because I've listened to you before, and I've watched you several times, and I've called in a couple times actually. It's slavery would be an example for the subjective morals that God has, not the objective morals?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he's changed his mind on slavery.
Yeah, slavery at one point was morally permissible, and now, I actually don't think God's changed his mind on slavery. I think God still is like, yeah, slavery's fine. So I actually think that God has not changed his mind on that, but in a Christian standpoint, he has. And by the nature of him changing his mind, it would be subjective.
Right. Well, it's just because a lot of the people so when we had slavery, in the United States, for example, a lot of people that wanted to, and I'm not saying this is for every Christian, because obviously there was people like Thomas Jefferson, there are people like Alexander Hamilton, like George Washington, people that were staunch. They were the daughters of America, or I guess the fathers of America, that, they believed in Christ, and yet they still had slavery, whether they believed that they could morally justify the fact that they had slaves. And then obviously the contextual argument of, well, it was a different time, it was a different place. And so in the Old Testament, slavery is regulated. It's like a regulated institution in the Israelite society. And then I believe in the New Testament, it basically gets what's the word? Refuted, not refuted.
Nowhere.
They don't.
Well, sure, but nowhere in the New Testament does anybody actually refute the practice of slavery. You have Paul who tries to free one slave that he forms a personal relationship with, but that's it. There is no actual refutation of the practice of slavery.
Right, I know. Because often, it's so weird in the Bible, the way they talk about how slavery is basically, in biblical slavery, it's usually a debt servitude. It wasn't based off of race or like it wasn't like racial slavery.
It was not racial slavery. I will agree with that in the history of like the Abrahamic faiths. However, it was not restitution either. You were able to take slaves from countries you went to war with. Israel took slaves from countries that they like dominated in the Bible all the time. They also took sex slaves. I don't remember exactly which passage, but God commands Israel to go. I think it's the Canaanites. He has slaughter, and then he says like, and then take all their virgins, and you can take their virgins for yourself. So they then take a bunch of people into sex slavery. It's also different because the the Israelites that sold themselves into servitude, they had a contract. They were released at the end of their contract. They could own property. They could buy wives. They could do all these things. The slaves that they take from other nations, they were slaves for life. They were passed down from parent to child. They didn't get their freedom. They also could be beaten. So even if we're going like, well, it was indentured servitude, I think indentured servitude where you can be beaten is just as bad.
Yeah, I'm correcting myself. It wasn't the Old Testament that, like, in the Old Testament, because the Old Testament's the book of laws, it regulates slavery, so it lays out the framework of the Abrahamic like rules for slaves, and like you couldn't have one for like more than 6 years or something like that. There was
that wasn't for slaves. That was for Israeli servants. When you were a servant, if you were a child of Israel, you could go sell yourself into servitude to pay off a debt. And on the 7th year, you were to go free, unless you're a woman. If you're a girl or a woman, you don't go free. You just have to keep fucking whoever you were sold to. But the boys could go free after 7 years. But this wasn't in the Bible. This isn't like on the books law to regulate a practice that was already going. This was like what gives us these rules of slavery is from Leviticus. It's when God spoke to Moses, when Moses went to Mount Sinai. God said, this is the rules I'm going to give you to the Israeli people. This is what they must do, and they must follow these rules. And he outlaws a bunch of stuff in this. He says you can't wear mixed fabric. You can't eat shellfish. But when he gets to slavery, God says specifically, you may own slaves. So it's you can't eat shellfish, but you may own slaves. It just seems, kind of weird.
I'm not particularly familiar with exactly how or why. The only thing that I can think of is like regulation. Like if God's told Moses that it's okay for them to have slaves, right? And you're like, that's kind of weird. Why you would say that you can't eat shellfish and you can't wear mixed fabrics, but you don't have any concessions when it comes to slaves. And then I'm like, the way that I grew up and the way that I was taught is that it like regulation does not equal like moral approval. And
yes, but what does equal moral approval is when he says the phrase, you may do this. If God is saying you may do this, that is quite literally God saying that this is a morally permissible action. This is an action that he does not view as immoral, whether it's at this time or I would say ever, because God is supposed to be never changing. He's not supposed to ever change his mind or change who he is or what is or is not moral. So if God says you may own slaves, that's him saying it's an okay thing to do.
I can see that. Okay, I can see that. And I've heard you make the argument before, so I kind of agree. I think because he does say that they may do something, and that does sound like, something that's morally permissible if he allows it. I mean, he allows. The only other argument I can think of is like he allows people to kill each other. That doesn't mean it's like morally acceptable, but he does allow it to happen. Like he allows.
Well, yeah, he not only allows it, he commands it. But that the way Christian apologists get around that is God's very specific when he talks about killing versus murder, and they say it's okay to kill, it's not okay to murder. That's the way they get around that. But
right,
to me, it just seems like what God should have said to the Israeli people is, "Hey, if you go slaughter a country, free their slaves. Don't then take the slaves for yourself. Free the slaves." Especially because, so here's first of all, there's like no actual proof that there were Israeli slaves in Egypt, so we just need to start there. Like Exodus is pretty much made up. There is like zero evidence. archaeological wise that Egypt at that time had Jewish slaves and had Hebrew slaves. So ignoring that, if we operate under the premise that Exodus is a real thing that really happened, we know for a fact that when Moses spoke to God on Mount Sinai was pretty much directly after they had left Egypt, right? They make it across the Red Sea. They end up in their now promised land, and Moses speaks to God on Mount Sinai, and God says, "Here are your rules." Okay. And what happens to me, what really is fucking interesting here is everybody I talk to about this verse says, well, God was just regulating a practice that was already going on at the time. They already had slaves. And my question is fucking why? Yeah. They were slaves. So they left out of slavery with slaves. The time between them crossing the Red Sea and the Levitical laws being given on Mount Sinai is not that fucking long. So in that period of time, they reinstituted an entire system of slavery? That doesn't make any sense. God could have said, now that you're all free people, don't now enslave others, but he didn't. He said, yeah, you can own slaves now.
Okay, so there's only biblical evidence. The only evidence that we have, because there's no archaeological evidence, there's no historical texts that say that the Egyptians had slaves at the time.
Well, no. They definitely had slaves at the time. There's tons of evidence that the Egyptians had slaves. Yeah, there's no evidence that there were Jewish slaves in Egypt around the time Exodus is supposed to take place. Right.
And the only account we have for that is
the Bible, really.
Exodus. Yeah. So all the things that's saying that like Moses led them out of slavery basically is, and then that the story of Passover, the Jewish story of Passover it's the only account we have for it is in the Bible.
Mostly, yeah. You have some like religious texts from the time, like the Dead Sea Scrolls are just a collection of the Dead Sea Scrolls were basically just like the Old Testament, but like written down differently and predates doesn't predate the Bible, but it predates like a lot of earlier texts that we have at the time, and that one shows the same stories, right? But yeah, like we just don't have evidence that there were Jewish slaves. We have evidence that there were slaves. We don't really have any evidence that there were Jewish slaves at the time.
Right. Okay. Well. Okay. So what about? Because I'm so. Historically, in the United States, when it came to the abolition of slavery, like in the West, right, it was not like predicated, but a lot of it came from like Christian moral like reasoning around
for the abolition or for the enslavement.
For the abolition movement.
Sure, but the entirety of the slave trade was predicated on the Bible. Like from the start of the transatlantic slave trade, the Bible was used as justification, both in England, in Spain, and in the U.S. The Bible was used as concrete justification for the enslavement of people.
So, okay. So where did how did the Christians like pull a whole 180 then? Because that's where I'm like, I'm not saying that like, yeah, God can't change his mind. You know, if he's absolute, he's absolute.
Some people viewed it as wrong, and the bulk of them were Christian. They didn't view it as wrong. I don't believe they viewed it as wrong because of Christianity. Again, you're really not going to find many places in the Bible that condemn slavery. So I don't view it as there is a passage that talks where Jesus talks about like how he doesn't like the slaver, but slaver in that passage, the original Hebrew text is more akin to kidnapper, which kidnapping and the slave trade were considered two completely different practices. So yeah, but I don't really care that like people use the Bible as justification to do good, right? Like it's neither here nor there. Like if I'm beating the shit out of somebody with a bat, and then because like let's say somebody hands me a bat, they give me a bat and they say beat the shit out of that person, so I start beating them, and then they take the bat away. I don't think the person who got beat should then be like, thank you for taking the bat from them and giving them the bat in the first place.
Right. So you're not necessarily concerned with the idea that like just because someone decides to do good through the teachings of Christ, that it doesn't mean that they're not still
I think I think things like humanism, like empathy, these type of things will override religious morality all the time. I think we do it all the time. I mean, when I look at like Christian churches that are like, we're very welcoming to LGBTQ people, we're very welcoming to our trans brothers and sisters. We don't believe that Christ thought like this, and we believe that you should. I'm like, cool. The text doesn't support this, but your empathy is winning your belief system in this sense.
Right. It'd be like a mixture of spiritualism and naturalism.
Yeah.
Kinda. Okay. Because the only thing I like, so Galatians, I think it's Galatians 3:28 is like there's no difference between people. There's neither,
Galatians is one of the Galatians in the
people.
argument of slavery. Galatians is one of the most. It's so funny to me when Christians bring up Galatians as like a counter to slavery, because in Galatians you have Paul talking about what in the kingdom of heaven there's no Jew nor Gentile, no slave nor free, no male and female, and then people will use this to go, see, Christ didn't support slavery. I'm like, did Christ also support gender abolition? Because he says there's no male or female either. Are we all non-binary now? And they will absolutely be like, no, obviously. It's like, no, because what they're talking about is that when you get to heaven, none of these things will matter. Yeah. But on earth, these practices still exist. This stuff still exists. In the same breath, Paul says in the New Testament, he tells slaves to obey their earthly masters, whether those masters be kind or cruel. He's like, even if you're getting your ass beat, you need to behave and listen to them. When Paul could have easily just said, hey, Paul, especially if we're talking about Paul as an apostle of Christ, should have just said, like, don't own slaves. At any point in time, any of them could have said this. Jesus could have said this. Any of the apostles could have said it. It could have been written down in any of the gospels. But at no point did anybody go, don't own other people.
Right, and then like the phrase like obey your earthly masters can be like spiritually like recontextualized as like be a servant of Christ, do the will of God, not necessarily that's how I was taught that like these things are like interpreted, like you basically, it's not like that's how I was taught the context of these things. When I look at the Bible, right,
the context I use is like just the words written on the page, right? People always tell me, well, you have to understand what they're actually saying. I'm like, no, if God says something, God doesn't God doesn't lie. He doesn't tend to speak in metaphor or anything like that. He tends to be very upfront about what he's saying. So if he says you may do something, I'm assuming that means you may do that thing.
Right, exactly. So you're saying the moral objectivity through God is like it's okay, it's permissible because he's very tact with his verbiage, his language, and
especially in Leviticus, like he was very clear about what you could or could not do in Leviticus.
Right. No, I get you. Okay. I guess being agnostic, like I can kind of like pick and choose like what parts of, the moral compass that I use to like dictate the direction of my life. And
I would just look into secular humanism. It sounds like you vibe more with that. So.
Yeah. No, we pretty much, just be a good person, be nice, don't hurt people, don't cause harm, whether it's purposeful or not. Don't objectify, don't, just try to be a good person, and with your fellow humans. Try to get along with them. And if you disagree, that's fine. Doesn't mean they're going to hell.
Yeah. I mean, I don't believe hell exists, so.
Right.
And
Yeah.
a whole nother conversation is that I believe heaven is actually like straight up hell. Like the thought of heaven is crazy, but we can talk about that another day. But Charlie, thank you for calling in. I hope you have a good rest of your day, friend.
Yeah. I hope you feel better. I heard you were sick.
Yeah, sinus infection, but we'll survive.
All right, Jovan.
All right, have a good one. Pretty sure Charlie, if anybody remembers, Charlie has called in before. He called in a while ago with some like ideas on trans people. He's the one, if I'm remembering correctly, he's the one who like apologized to trans people on stream because he realized like some of the shit he was saying. So yeah. Ugh. All right, we're gonna bring in the next person. Next up, coming to the show, we have Alan. Alan is showing up here. Alan, if you can hear me, can you just provide me your age and pronouns, please?
Yeah, I'm 26. I'm he, him.
Okay, Alan, and you want to talk about the Christian God being evil as well. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, Alan, go ahead with your premise.
Oh, yeah. Well, the reason I called in really is because I heard in the last thing, it's like right when I popped in, you guys were talking about how morality is objective or subjective.
Subjective.
Right. And if it's subjective, then that makes anyone able to say anything is good or bad. Therefore, like someone like Jeffrey Arm or something like that could just say that they are good in what they do, and they could be in any right. Because if morality is subjective, then they're right too.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean,
like,
they could, yes.
Right. So I feel like morality has to be objective for it to be true, or something that I would want to believe in or adhere to.
If morality has to be objective for you to want to adhere to a morality, that's just sort of a odd thing to say, in my opinion. But like, if morality is objective, that would mean that it is mind independent. It means it would just exist as a physical property of the universe. Do you think that morality exists as a physical property of the universe?
No, I think it's intangible.
Sure, you think it's an intangible property of the universe. Where does it come from?
Conscious?
It comes from consciousness?
Not consciousness, but a conscious.
Okay, you believe that conscious to be God.
Right. Not in the sense that I think that, like, I just want to get this out of the way, too. I think that the God that, like, Trumpies, whatever you want to call them, these people nowadays believe in and stuff, that's not the true God. I think God is more like a universal, it's a spiritual thing. It's not like a man in the sky or something that you can picture or even imagine,
Sure. How do you quantify morality coming from a spiritual place like that? Like, how do we quantify what is or is not moral then?
I guess a feeling. You feel it within you.
That would be subjective then. If I'm killing someone and I have that feeling within me that it's good, then under your purview, morality is also subjective.
Right, but for it to be something that we would all agree on, wouldn't it have to come from somewhere that we'd all agree on it? Like, if we all had the same feeling on that, wouldn't that, like, because it's a feeling, it's not a knowing, it's not something we learned. It's a feeling.
You're essentially describing emotivism.
Okay, I'm sorry, what is that? I'm not that.
Emotivism is this idea that morality isn't based on some objective framework. It's just based on like whether or not like our feelings regarding specific actions and things like that. So like killing isn't bad because of it does some objectively bad thing. It's bad because when we kill someone or when we get killed, we feel bad about it.
But some people don't feel bad.
Yes. To them, it wouldn't be
right,
bad.
But because they don't feel like anything really. But
yeah, but what I'm saying is,
like
all I'm trying to point out is if you're saying there is some objective principle of the universe that causes us to feel a certain way about things, and that's where morality comes from, some people don't feel that same way. So all you're describing without realizing you're describing it, is emotivism. That like you might not realize it, but that is what you're describing, and that is a form of subjective morality, not a form of objective morality. The only way objective morality can really exist in the universe as a presence is if we have some sort of being who declares what is or is not moral. Now, I still think it would be subjective in a sense, but it's objective to humans at least. It's not mind independent, but like humans would default to this thing's morality. So that's the only way you can even remotely get close to an objective morality.
Right. Well, this is why I called in, because I've been mulling this over myself. So I felt like you were pretty experienced. Everyone else I talked to is not as smart as you. So that's why I called in. What did you call it? Emotivism?
Yeah, take a look at emotivism. I know that what's his name? Alex O'Connor, a big he's a big philosopher up and coming right now. I'm pretty sure he's an emotivist. But yeah, look into emotivism. Because that sounds more like what you were talking about.
All right. Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem.
I don't really have anything else to talk about.
All right. Well, you have a good one.
You too, man. Peace.
Bye-bye. I don't want another pretty man. God, the worst part about getting a sinus infection is just that feeling of fucking dryness that you get when your throat hurts. What, All right, let's bring in the next person. Am I reading this fucking right? Okay. Well, John apparently wants to tell me how black people benefited from slavery. John, what is your age and pronouns, please?
Yeah, how are you? I'm 32. I don't do the pronoun thing.
You don't have any pronouns you prefer to be called?
No, I don't know. I mean, I expect people to infer my pronouns based on like standard social conventions, based on my primary, like readily available.
Yeah, but do you prefer to be called a specific set of pronouns, or you don't care if people call you anything?
I don't. I think that someone that kind of veers from the norm that I just mentioned is an asshole, but that's like totally someone's right.
Okay, so if somebody does call you pronouns different than what you prefer, you do think they're a bit of an asshole for doing it because you don't want to be called those things.
Because again, the whole thing is a social construct designed to just like sort of subvert the like gender norms, which is like
John,
a readily established convention.
John, all you're doing is describing.
I don't care.
Wait.
I don't care about you.
I do though. I just really quickly, John, really quickly. I just want to point out, you're just describing preferred pronouns with extra steps. You're going out of your way.
Like I said, I don't care about any of your faggot bullshit. I don't want to talk about it. It's
great. Then just tell me what your pronouns are so I can put them on the list.
I'm not going to. So do it that way.
Okay, well, if you don't want to follow the rules, it's in the rules. Sorry. No shirt, no shoes, no service. No pronouns, no name, no age, no service. I don't know what to tell you. It's pretty simple. I have rules. They're in the rules. You click on the description in YouTube, they're right there. Yeah, let's just rules. Okay, give name, age, pronouns at start, no slurs, bring sources, no under 18. Well, they're right there, so don't know what to tell you. I don't do pronouns. Would have loved to hear his defense of how black people benefited from slavery, but I don't really think that was coming. Anyway, could just be me, but you know. You know what radicalized me? The Poke Center in Pokemon. The Poke Center. Free healthcare, baby. That's what radicalized me. All right, we're going to bring up Trey. Trey wants to talk about the Christian God, feels he knows more about slavery in the Old Testament than I do, so we'll find out. Trey, what is your age and pronouns, please?
Oh. What?
Trey, what's your age and your pronouns?
I'm 27. I'm a homie. He, him.
Okay. And you think
Also,
you know
I didn't
more...
say you. I said the other guy that was talking when I called.
Oh, okay.
A bit more than he does.
Sure. Okay, we can talk about the Christian God being evil. Do you want to give your stance?
Probably better if you gave yours. I don't really have like a super specific stance.
My stance is simple. I think the Christian God is evil. I think he's done evil things. I think he's created a world in which evil exists. I think that he has created a world in which a mass amount of harm exists for no apparent reason. And I think he's super vain and prefers worship over true fairness. So, yeah.
So I'm going to assume that given the statements, you're assuming that God is real, correct, in this assessment?
In this assessment, God would be assumed to be real, correct? I don't believe he's real, but if the God of the Christian Bible were to actually exist, he would be evil, yeah.
So we're having a debate as if you believe God is real. So I'm allowed to make theological arguments.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. If we're making theological arguments for God being evil, God didn't create evil. He didn't make the world evil. That's
Yes, he did.
like bare bones apologetics. That's just not what's laid out in Genesis.
Yes, it is.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is.
If we're having a theological debate, assuming that God is real, and we're having to assume that the Bible is a factual source, that's not what's laid out in Genesis at all.
Where did evil
God
come
made
from?
humans image, and which is then corrupted by Satan.
Where did Satan come from?
Satan was created in the Garden of Eden.
By who?
Satan was then by God.
So, ergo, God created evil.
No. Hitler's mother did not create evil.
Nope. Hitler's mother wasn't a god. Hitler's mother didn't. When God created Satan, did God know Satan was going to bring evil into the world?
No.
No? So God's not omnipotent per the Bible.
Oh, most of that it's, what would you say, hyperbolic worship in the same way of saying Mike Tyson is undefeatable. Mike Tyson is an invincible killing machine. Mike Tyson has been defeated. Mike Tyson is a mortal man.
You don't believe God is omniscient.
A hyperbole. It's not literal.
I would disagree. I would disagree. The Bible is pretty clear about God's omniscience.
It's more of a comparison.
Yeah, no, I would
like
still
when you
say,
actually because it's not self-defeating written.
Yeah, I would still say the Bible is pretty clear about God's abilities, and God is an all-knowing, all-seeing being. He knows all and he sees all.
From our perspective, yes, but no. Like logically, that doesn't play out.
Yes, I know it logically doesn't play out. That's part of the reason I don't believe in God. But
That's
if you're taking the Bible,
hyperbolize.
But now what you're doing is you're saying, well, your apologetics is to say, well, I don't believe the Bible to be true. I don't believe what the Bible is actually saying, because the Bible says very clearly.
Hand it to me, God.
Then how do you? Wait, okay. So then, how do you know what claims? Hold on. How would you know what claims from the Bible are accurate? Then
it's kind of like picking up on a reading style or being around somebody enough that you start to learn what is a parable, what is metaphorical, what is spiritual, and what is literal. Like if you want to read Kings, like Kings is just literally this guy was born to this guy and this guy, that's all just straight literal. But when you get into the parables and the hyperboles, it's written in such a way that sometimes you're reading epic poetry. And if you want to take that at literal value, you're just doing yourself a disservice. Also, when you're saying that the Bible says this, therefore it is absolutely true to the literal text, that is a Muslim belief. That's how they believe in the Quran. The Quran was given to them directly from God. It is the incorruptible word of God. That's
because in the Bible, hold on. But the reason I would say this about the Bible is the Bible literally has a passage where God says all verses are God-breathed. All verses in the Bible are given down by me. They're all sacred doctrine.
They're given down to prophets who then write it down. But they're not writing it word for word. It's very rare that happens.
Okay, so what we've come here then is that we basically can't take the Bible for any fact. You're saying that now we have to pick and choose what in the Bible is and is not accurate. And the only way we're going to know is if you are like, if you have the knowledge that you have, which is just being able to discern. There's no criteria for this. You're just able to discern what is or is not accurate based upon. So you labeled zero criteria just now, and I asked you how you know what is true or not. You said I just sort of reading.
No, you have to be able.
Yes,
to identify the literary style.
That's not criteria.
Any other literature.
That's not criteria.
How is that? I'm telling you that you have to be able to identify
let's go through it. Let's go through it. Proverbs 15:3. The eyes of the Lord are everywhere, keeping watch on the wicked and the good. Does this mean God is all knowing, or is this hyperbole?
That means that God is all knowing on the events of earth. God can see everything that we are doing.
Okay,
that is both epic poetry and a literal statement. Yeah.
So God is only all knowing about earth. He knows everything that's happening on earth at all times.
Yes.
But he didn't have that knowledge in the Garden of Eden.
Don't believe so now.
A place that he created, just like Earth.
There's doesn't say that Eden is created.
You don't think God created the Garden of Eden?
It doesn't say. It says that in the beginning there was God, the heavens, and the angels, and then then it goes into the spiel. At the very beginning of Genesis.
Very, very interesting. Let's keep going. Give me 1 second. Let's keep going here. Now, just really quickly, because you're making the claim that God didn't create the Garden of Eden. Genesis 2:8-9. What does that say?
I don't have my Bible in front of me, bud.
Now the Lord God had planted a garden in the east, in Eden.
Okay, I'm corrected. God did make Eden. Continue.
Okay, so God created Eden, and he can see everything on earth, but he can't see everything that happens on Eden, even though he created it.
That's what the book says, man.
Okay. Hebrews 4:13. Nothing in all creation is hidden from God's sight. Everything is uncovered and laid bare before the eyes of him to whom we must give account. Is this hyperbole that nothing in creation is hidden from God's sight?
Still epic poetry, but that's the gist.
So that's not true.
Do you understand what I mean when I say that?
I want to know if the words that are here I want you to tell me specifically. When it says nothing in all creation is hidden from God's sight, I understand that this is an eloquent way to put it, right? But when it says nothing in creation is hidden from God's sight, are they saying that God sees everything if the things are in creation? Yes or no?
Yes, that is what that is saying.
And that would be accurate, correct?
I would assume so.
Okay, so then God is all seeing. God is all knowing.
To creation and us, I would assume so. Yes.
Okay.
All knowing
is Eden in creation? Is Eden in creation?
I guess I would assume so.
Okay, so we know that God sees all. So God saw the serpent attempting to persuade Adam and Eve to eat from the fruit of the tree, and he did nothing about it.
That it was a tricky serpent. That's kind of the main point of the passage.
Okay, Psalm 147:5. Great is our Lord and mighty in power. His understanding has no limit.
That's hyperbole.
That's hyperbole. So there is a limit to what God can understand.
God has limits in a lot of ways.
I'm asking specifically if he
We're
has
talking
limits
about
to what he
books
can
that are
understand.
written- Let me answer. These books are written over 3,000-ish years by various authors at varying times. The main way that things are decided whether or not they're canon to the Bible or not is based on the literary style. If it could be traced, then that's how you can identify forgeries very easily.
Great. So just confirming, when it comes to his understanding of the universe, there are limits to this.
I'm saying understanding in general. I don't think God understood humans completely after we were on Earth.
Cool. That's fine. I am God and there is no Isaiah 46:9-10. I am God and there is no other. I am God and there is none like me. I make known the end from the beginning, from ancient times what is still to come. Would this be confirming when God specifically says these things that he sees all, not just knows all, but he has omnipresence? He sees from all points of time.
That's reinstating, the first half of that's reinstating that I am your only God, I am the only God, so on and so forth. Read the last part again.
I make known the end from the beginning, from ancient times what is still to come. He makes known from the end to the beginning.
Yeah, it's saying that he knows what's going to happen. He's passing down events through prophets.
Yes, so he knows.
There's prophecy.
So God does know. So in all of creation, God knows what will happen.
Every dynamic, no, we do have free will. Where
but he knows what choices will be taken.
No,
he has to. You've already conceded that in all of. Hold on. You've already conceded that in all of creation, God know. Wait. You've already confirmed that in all of creation, God sees all that will happen. So he knows all the choices that we will make. And now he's saying that he knows from the beginning of time, he knows the end of time. He knows what happened in ancient times, and he knows what is still to come.
Let me talk. You're trying to make my argument for me.
I'm not. You're just making poor arguments.
Of free will. I'm saying that God can see everything that happens, but he doesn't know everything that's going to happen or can happen.
Okay. So when God says
there's some points that are set in time
that are
going to happen because they're prophesized, but everything in between's kind of a toss-up.
So God can only see certain prophesized things.
Not see, he's already set those points to happen. Us having free will and him allowing us to have free will, we can kind of make our own choices.
How is this possible if nothing in all of creation is hidden from his sight? How is it possible that he doesn't know what these things would be?
That is more of an allusion to there is nothing that you can do that he won't know about.
But he knows about it after the sense.
What's done will be brought to the light. It's like reoccurring trend all through the Bible.
After the fact.
Huh?
After the fact, he knows. So you would be making the claim that God is not an all-powerful being. Right here, right now. You're making that claim.
Yeah. I don't think the devil's an idiot and he fought a war against God, so God is in some way susceptible. That's what's implied through the text.
Okay. 1 second. Just writing things down so I have it. So, just so that I'm aware here. Job 42:2. I know that you can do all things. No purpose of yours can be thwarted. This is hyperbole. God can't actually do all things.
Yes, that's Job praying to his God. That is the ultimate of hyperboles. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, just making sure. Interesting to me. When Matthew 19:26, with man this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. Hyperbole?
The same way that you thought your dad was Superman as a kid. Yeah.
Okay, so Jesus was just wrong about. Got it. No problem. Well, yeah, no, because like if I thought my dad was Superman, I was wrong, right? If I thought my dad could do anything, I was wrong about this. So Jesus would also have been wrong about this here.
No, you genuinely believed that.
Yes, and
you
I
may
was
be wrong in the belief, but you didn't.
You're still wrong. If I genuinely believe that the Earth is made of cotton candy, I'm still wrong about this just because I genuinely believe it.
Yes.
Great. So Jesus was wrong.
I think Jesus was speaking in hyperbole, but we can agree to disagree.
Well, wait, you said it's like if you thought your father was Superman. Did Jesus believe that with God, all things are possible? Did he actually believe this? Did he believe, or is he just saying something that is factually untrue?
It's part of God, so that's both veneration, hyperbole with some truth. That's the whole thing I'm trying to get across.
Okay, what is true?
When I keep saying epic poetry.
The problem is you keep flip-flopping on like whether something's hyperbole, whether it's true, whether Jesus actually believes this. Does Jesus actually believe that God is an all-powerful being? If so, did Jesus lie when he said, or was he wrong? Sorry, was Jesus wrong when he made out like God is this all-powerful creator?
The words you're trying to use to phrase it are in and of themselves just, oh my God.
Just what? Was Jesus right or wrong? It's very simple.
I think he is right because it's a hyperbole. But if you're wanting to get pedantic and go, well, is a hyperbole absolutely correct? Well, no, it's a hyperbole.
No, I'm asking, what did Jesus believe about God? Did Jesus believe that God was a being that could do anything?
I think that is what he said. I'm sure he believed that to the extent to which it's true, seeing how he's part of the Godhead, yeah. But you're missing the nuance by saying, I'm the best pool player in the world. I can beat anybody in pool. That could be true. It's probably mostly
when
true.
he was praying in the Garden of Gethsemane, and he said, "Father, everything is possible for you." Was this hyperbole, or did he really mean that everything is possible for God? Did he truly believe that everything is possible for God?
I'm saying I think that's hyperbole and veneration. But there's truth in hyperbole.
Okay, what did Jesus actually believe then?
Thank you, Boo.
I don't know. I'm not Jesus.
I know you don't know.
I'm telling you what that text is, but I can't tell you exactly what is being said. It is a hyperbole.
So it's not hyperbole.
I said it's hyperbole.
Okay, so it is hyperbole. Got it. So anytime now, first of all, I don't think Jesus praying at the Garden of Gethsemane was him. He would have used any. He didn't use any hyperbole here. What would be the point of hyperbole in this instance? He was talking directly to his Lord and Savior. What would be the purpose of him now speaking in hyperbole?
He's venerating God. That's 9 times out of 10 always hyperbole.
Okay, what's your basis for that?
Have you ever listened to any preacher ever at any point in time?
Great.
Or read
I'm not
the
asking
Bible
about. I'm not asking
all?
about every preacher. I'm asking about Jesus. What is your evidence that Jesus, who you claim is part God, right? Who is supposed to be the Son, who is supposed to be God in human form, right? If God is this creature that can't do anything, why pray to him to begin with?
What do you mean, is this creature that God can't do anything? I feel like you're just arguing with yourself and not me.
Can God do anything, yes or no? Can God do anything, yes or no?
I would say, do you remember my answer?
Yeah, I've already forgotten it. Say it again.
I said my answer was, according to the text, if you read it, the answer would be absolutely no. 90% yes. It's a venerative
Great.
hyperbole.
What is the 10% of things he can't do?
I'm assuming, well, we're having to get into assuming because this is where actually reading the Bible comes into play. I don't think that God does anything necessarily directly evil, assuming God is the objective moral truth, such as stripping us of our free will. So I don't think that's something he'll do to us.
He does that.
Text. So that's
he does that. He does that in the text all the time.
Where?
Pharaoh and Moses.
Where has God mind controlled someone in the Bible?
He specifically says, "I will harden Pharaoh's heart so that he will not let your people go." That is quite literally the definition of removing someone's free will.
Or did he then inflict things upon Pharaoh until that happened?
Nope. He says, "You will go to ask Pharaoh, and when you go and ask Pharaoh, I will harden Pharaoh's heart, so Pharaoh tells you no. Then we'll do the plagues."
Do you think that the random guy asking to free all of Egypt may have been the thing that hardened the heart? Or do
I think that if God tells you directly, "I will do X so that Y will happen," then God did X so that Y will happen. This isn't, by the way, this isn't like somebody else's words. These are God's words directly to Moses. Unless you're saying Moses was a liar.
I think that's a very poor literary reading of that.
I'm sorry. It's not a poor literary reading. It's the exact text. It's a reading of the text in black and white.
Like me saying, I'm going to tell you to go tell someone else something that I know is going to piss them off, and they're going to tell you to go fuck yourself. That's what happened. That's reading the text, not just doing the pedantic black and white that just ruins any
But
actual
the Lord
discussion.
hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not listen to Moses and Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
The literal reading of this is he hardened his heart, and therefore he would not listen. The only way to take this text is that had he not hardened his heart, he might have listened.
So.
But I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and though I multiply my signs and wonders in Egypt, he will not listen to you. So I will harden his heart. I'll then show him all this cool shit, but he still won't listen because I hardened his heart. When you return to Egypt, see that you perform before Pharaoh all the wonders I have given you the power to do. But I will harden his heart so that he will not let the people go. So that he will not. But I will do X so that he will not do Y. What's the hyperbole there, champ?
I'm pulling it up. You sure that isn't Pharaoh initially hardened his own heart, but after multiple opportunities to relent, the text indicates God hardened his heart?
Even if Pharaoh hardened his own heart before then, God is saying that he is now going to harden it this time. He will not let Pharaoh make a different decision because he is going to harden Pharaoh's heart right here, right now. That's not free will.
I'm asking you to read. What do you think that means to harden his heart?
I think it means that God influenced Pharaoh's decision making.
Fucking magic, or did he do something?
I think it's quite literally mysticism.
I'm gonna pull up our text here.
Go ahead, pull up your text. Can't wait.
Where are we at? Exodus 7:3. So we're going to skip the beginning of the chapter.
The beginning of the chapter still proves my point.
The Lord said to Moses, "See, I have made you like God to Pharaoh, and your brother Aaron will be your prophet. You are to say everything I command you, and your brother Aaron is to tell Pharaoh to let the Israelites go out of his country. But I will harden Pharaoh's heart." Okay, do you think that maybe raising a slave up to the height of Pharaoh is what hardened his heart?
Nope. I think it's God saying, I will do this. That's what I think it did it. That's what I think did it. God saying, I will do what you're doing right now. This is my favorite level. This is my favorite level of apologetics. What you're doing is you're seeing the text that tells you directly. No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Read it off.
No, I didn't. I said that God is going to give Moses his powers and do all this bullshit. None of that changes the fact that God's saying again, I will. Let me read it again. Let's read it again. I will harden Pharaoh's heart. Let me read that sentence one more time. But I will harden Pharaoh's heart. Let me read the sentence one more time. But I will harden Pharaoh's heart. He's not saying, but the actions you do will harden Pharaoh's heart. He's not saying, but you doing this will do it. He's saying, I will do it. You now are telling me that God, in his infinite wisdom, speaks in fucking lies, apparently. So God also lies.
That's not a lie.
That's a lie.
And if I
that is absolutely a lie.
To kick open your door, that's not then going, well, it was the Marines. At whose direction? You're being pedantic for no
I will
reason.
harden Pharaoh's heart. I will do this.
And if Obama said, I killed Osama bin Laden...
Obama's not a god.
He's correct.
Obama's not God. I don't give a fuck what Obama says. I don't care what people that are not God. No, it's not pedantic, you fucking clown. It's not pedantic to not. You're giving a false dichotomy. It is not the same. Yes, you are. You're saying, but what if this being who's not God did these things? Whoop-dee, I don't give a fuck what a being that's not God does. This is God. You're saying, oh, Jesus Christ, you're the worst apologist I've talked to in fucking years. Again, if God, the beginning chapter here, the beginning verse, the beginning words here does not change the context of God saying he will do X thing. It is because of God that Pharaoh's heart was hardened. God said, I will harden it. Not, I will give you powers and those powers will cause Pharaoh to say no. He says specifically, I will harden his heart.
Okay. Can you give a directive to an agent to exert your will? In general, you can make up any god and agent you want. Does that
relevance.
work in your head? If
Zeus
relevance. Tells Hercules to go do this.
Yeah, sure. What's the relevance? What's the relevance?
It's not irrelevant.
No, I'm asking you, what is the relevance? What is it?
I'm asking you,
connect the dots.
You understand?
Connect the dots. You don't need to ask me. Just connect the dots yourself.
No, I'm asking you.
No, just connect the dots yourself.
Can a director give directive to an agent, and then whose will
is? Connect. We're not talking about someone's will.
Yes,
we're talking about whether or not God hardened someone's heart when he said that he hardened the Pharaoh's heart.
I'm saying how, because it's probably the fucking sentences above what we just read.
I don't care what those sentences say. This is a lot easier if we just those sentences don't those sentences don't disprove you. I'm sorry, those sentences don't disprove me. They don't at all. All they show is that God, A, is able to predict the future, which is beautiful, because that also shows my fucking... Because he's able to say, you're going to do this, I'm going to harden his heart, and then he will say no. And then when Pharaoh says no, it's like, oh, look at that, I told the future again. Look at me being able to predict what will happen, even though fucking Trey says God can't fucking see the future. And then it shows that God hardens the Pharaoh's heart. God did it. Not somebody else did it. God did it. He again, he's
You're
very
right.
specific.
God did through his agents. Yes. The same way that Obama killed fucking Osama bin Laden through his agents.
It's not the same way in the slightest.
He sent someone to do exactly what I tell you, and this thing will happen. They did exactly what he told them, and the thing happened. This
is you lacking reading comprehension, is what this is. If I were to tell you, here, let's follow through with this. Let's follow through with this. If I were to tell you, hey, I'm going to teach you how to juggle. Then I want you to go to a circus and I want you to entertain the crowd.
Okay.
But I'm going to harden the crowd's hearts so they don't clap for you. Did they not clap because of your juggling?
That's not analogous.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
If you said, you need to go tell these people exactly what I'm about to tell you, and you give me a speech, and then you go, I'm going to harden their hearts, and then I go give this speech that just utterly pisses them the fuck off, then you were absolutely correct. And yes, what you told me to do, what you did, harden their heart.
Then why does he say that I'm going to harden his heart so he does not say yes, so that he says no? I'm going to do X
Because
so he will do Y.
Everything I command you, go say this exact speech that I'm telling you to say, word for word, that I know is going to piss him off, and he's not going to listen to you. Go say what I'm telling you to say, not what you want to say. Say this exact thing that I know will make him mad.
So God purposely told Moses to say something to piss off the Pharaoh, and then he killed a bunch of the Egyptian children for purposely pissing off something he knew would piss off the Pharaoh.
Well, yeah, it seems to be the prophecy. Yeah.
So the prophecy was
can we agree that that's
no, we don't agree with that at all. We don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that at all. But what you're saying, what your version of events is God said to Moses, "Hey Moses, go and tell Pharaoh this pre-written speech that I have for him. It's gonna piss him the fuck off, and then because he's pissed off, I'm gonna kill all the kids. I'm gonna kill all the firstborn kids.
You are to say everything I command you." Okay, yeah. Okay.
And then I'm going to kill all the kids. And then I'm going to kill all the kids.
And harden his heart. Okay, cool, yeah.
And then I'm going to kill all the kids.
And I'm going to multiply my wonders. He's not going to listen.
And then
I will lay my hand
and then I'm going to kill all the kids.
Mighty acts of judgment.
So you're doing something I know will piss. You're doing something I know will piss you off. You're doing something I know will piss him off. When you say this, he's absolutely not going to give you what you want. Don't say anything else. There's no other way. There's no other way for you to do this. You could come up with some other thing, but don't do that. Do it this way. That will piss him off. Okay. Then after he gets pissed off, which I know will piss him off. After you do this, then I'm going to kill all the kids.
We skip line 3, but yes, we're reading the paragraph in front of us now. I'm glad that we've gotten to this point together.
Yeah, this isn't the correct interpretation of this. What you are doing is you are interpreting the Bible for your own thing to try to make God sound slightly better. He still doesn't sound better. No. He still sounds like a fucking tyrant.
I'm making him sound worse. What are you talking about?
No, that doesn't make him him sound worse than magically removing Pharaoh's free will, you fucking joke of a person. So again, in your reading of the book, God still kills all those kids for no reason.
Do you think that the first?
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you just concede that in your reading of the book? Can you just concede in your reading of the book, God kills all those kids?
Reading the same thing you are.
Can you just confirm that in your reading of you're not, because you're quite literally reading words and then saying those words mean something different, even though it's very clear that they're written down a specific way. You're saying, but they don't mean the way they're written down. So let me just confirm. Just confirming, Trey. Per your interpretation of this passage, God killed a bunch of kids for no reason.
How dishonest are you?
Yes or no, Trey?
From that?
Yes or no, Trey?
No, that's
yes
not
or
what I said.
No, God. Wait, Trey. Did God know that? Did God know that the Pharaoh's heart was going to be hardened?
Yes, I agree.
Did God know that the Pharaoh was going to say no?
This event.
Did God know the Pharaoh was going to say no?
Wasn't there a whole bunch of
yes or no? Yes or no?
Go and
yes or no, Trey? Yes or no? Did God know the Pharaoh would say no?
We're going to have discussion and apply context.
It's super simple, Trey. Just yes or no. Did God know the Pharaoh would say no?
We just went.
Great. I'll just fucking read it then. I'll just read it again, because apparently you don't like to answer a question directly. I'll read the passage again, because unlike you, it's like really not that hard to fucking read something as written. But I will harden his heart, and though I multiply my signs and wonders in Egypt, he will not listen to you. Then I will lay my hand on Egypt with mighty acts of judgment, and I will bring out my divisions, my people, the Israelites. So he knew that Pharaoh would say no,
Yes.
per your interpretation of the book. He knew the Pharaoh would say no. He knew that giving Moses, in your interpretation, he knew that giving Moses this power, giving Moses all of these things, would cause the Pharaoh to say no. And then his reaction to this was, I'm going to kill a bunch of children.
Wasn't there like 30 instances before this event where Moses said, "Hey, can you let my people go?" And Pharaoh went, "No, go fuck yourself."
None of those matter.
Context? They do matter.
They
That
don't.
is, how the fuck are you trying to isolate
They
one event
quite
from
literally
a
don't
series of
matter.
events and then go, look at this.
They quite literally don't matter. If God is telling, if per your interpretation, God giving Moses the powers of the Almighty, and Moses being able to perform those mystic powers, is what causes Pharaoh to harden his heart completely and say, I will not let these people go. And God knows that this will cause Pharaoh to harden his heart completely. And God knows that Pharaoh will not let the people go. Oh, so God didn't know.
Already disagree.
God didn't know that it would cause Pharaoh to harden his heart.
What?
Oh, okay. But I
What
will harden
happened?
Pharaoh's heart, and though I multiply my signs and wonders in Egypt, he will not listen to you. So God didn't actually know that he wouldn't listen to him.
Do you not understand what the words that are
Did
coming out of my
God know,
mouth?
yes or no, that he would listen? It's super simple.
God gave him 30 opportunities to let them go.
Not
God
answering my
then went,
question.
you know what?
Not answering my question.
I'm answering.
Not answering the question.
I'm actively.
You're actively not. The
Wait,
question is, did God know that Pharaoh would say no if Moses and Aaron performed mystic miracles? Yes or no?
Mystic. He gave them a speech. Take the There's no mysticism to be had in
There's
this
no
fucking
mysticism.
passage.
There's no mysticism. See, I have made you like God to Pharaoh, and your brother Aaron will be a prophet. There's no mysticism here. See, I've made you like gods. There's no mysticism here. When the staff becomes a snake, that's not mystic.
I'm talking about specifically what is in
Trey,
front of us. And
Trey, what I hope, Trey, what I really hope here, Trey, what I hope here is that as somebody who's as fucking painfully ignorant on the Bible as you, as someone who just avoids everything the Bible is saying because you want to play apologetics, which is my favorite part of what fucking people like you do. To play apologetics, you cherry pick what it, goodbye. To play apologetics, you just cherry pick what is or is not relevant in any form of argument. God literally says to Moses that he's going to make Moses and Aaron like prophets. He then gives them a staff that will turn into a snake. He then performs fucking true miracles in front of the Pharaoh. You're just a fucking lazy apologetic. You're a lazy apologist. It is lazy. It is a lazy interpretation of your book. And quite honestly, it's pointless to continue the conversation at that point. So have fun in the void again. Anyway, I'm sorry I didn't see it in time, but shout out to Anthony. Shout out to Anthony. Lazy. It's truly lazy. I'll boot anybody after 20 minutes for a $20 tip. Because after 20 minutes, if the conversation has circled the drain, it's no point anyway. The Lord said to Moses, when you return to Egypt, see that you perform before Pharaoh all the wonders I have given you the power to do. But I will harden his heart so that he will not let the people go. There's literally no other way to read that. No context adds anything different to that. I mean, this is somebody who told me at the start of the call, God didn't create the Garden of Eden. I mean, come on now. That really should have told us all we needed to know. Oh, Isaiah 45:7. Yeah, I don't tend to use this because if you use a different translation, it doesn't say evil. I haven't looked in what the original Hebrew is for the words that they're using there. So I don't tend to use this translation. The word of the day is hyperbole. No, dead ass. Okay. Every caller is calling about fucking God. Jesus. Okay. Caller number 7, no. Don't really want to talk about that at the moment. God, I kind of don't want to talk about God anymore, low key. Somebody call about something else, man. Sure, we'll take caller number 5. This is going to be Dan, I think. Caller, your name was Dan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Dan, and your age and pronouns?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Chilling.
My age is 30. I'm just him. I'm just he.
Okay.
So, my question really revolves around why do you believe that what's called morality doesn't come from God, or if that is what you believe?
Well, because I don't believe in God.
You don't believe in God at all?
No.
Okay. All right. The reason why I called is because, like, I really just want to say this. I believe that morality itself comes from God. Because, say, for instance, without God, there is no consequences. There is none. There's realistically nothing there. So, like, say, for instance, I'm just going to go very, like, brutal with it.
I just want to, before you get there, I just want to point out that even with God, there are no consequences.
How so?
Well, if I repent and I'm truly sorry for what I did, I will not face consequences in the afterlife.
If you do it again, did you truly repent? So,
sure,
like,
but if
instance like this, with that logic right there.
But if I don't do it again, I don't face So if I kill 6 million people who may or may not be of a specific faith, and then before I die, I truly repent. I see the error of my ways. I'm like, you know what? I fucked up. I was so inherently wrong, and God has touched me and made me realize this was the worst thing I could have done. I give myself to the Lord, and I'm serious about this, right? I will not face repercussions in the afterlife for the actions that I did.
Yeah, because you repented. Yeah, I do agree with that.
Yeah, so there are no true consequences if you repent. Kind of seems weird to me that, like, in this world that we're talking about, somebody like Hitler who truly repents would go to heaven. Meanwhile, if I have somebody who spends their entire life dedicating to their life to the service of others, they do everything in their power to make sure everybody is well taken care of. They give to charity. They build houses for Habitats for Humanity. They're kind to every creature on the planet. But they don't believe Jesus and God exists. They go to hell.
Yeah.
That don't seem fair.
Like, by all means, that is the truth.
That
it's not meant to be fair. That's what this, in my opinion, in my honest opinion, is not meant to be fair. Like, I think what most people get, like, misconstrued with, like, when it comes to God themselves, God is not human. He's not. There's no sensibility of it, like, to believe him as a man in and of itself. Because, like, say like the instance, like, boom. People like to say God kills people. No, I don't believe God kills people. You can't kill what you create. You're like, it's like, do I really? If I build a car,
Do you want to
right?
wait.
Let's just say,
I just want to give you an out right now.
Go ahead, sir.
Do you want to do you want to recant
sir.
what you just said? I'm giving you an out. Do you want to recant it?
Oh, excuse me. Just re-say what I was saying.
No, do you want to recant it? Do you want to pull it back? Because the phrase "you can't kill what you create" kind of fucking weird in a universe where we like are people that give birth.
You don't create life. Nobody creates life. You have the ability to push forth life, but you don't create life. Nothing new is under the sun. Like, that's what I believe. You don't create anything.
That doesn't. Okay. I just let me rewind. So you agree that the moral system of God is an unfair moral system? It's not supposed to be fair.
No.
Then why would I worship? Why would I worship this?
Is not meant for.
Why would I worship this being?
Sir?
Why would I worship a being who's created a moral system that is unfair?
It's your choice. It's out of your free will. It is your choice. It's literally 100% your choice.
Yes, I'm asking why would I?
I'm
asking why would I? Why should I worship a being who created a system that is inherently unfair?
Do you want to live in the afterlife?
Not with a being that creates a moral system. I don't want to go to heaven if Hitler is there, my G. I don't want to go to heaven if Jeffrey Dahmer is in heaven. Why would I want to?
All right, then burn.
I would rather burn for all eternity than worship at the feet of somebody who thinks Jeffrey Dahmer deserves to be in heaven, while somebody like fucking, I don't know, any of the litany of people who've done countless good deeds for the planet but just didn't believe in God are now in hell. Why would I want to worship this being? This is a vain being. This is a being that is devoid of the love that he claims to want. He is not deserving of this. He's a psychopath. You're describing a psychopath.
Really?
Yes.
Does it seem like so? Because
yes.
the way I look at it. Oh, I'm sorry. You can continue if you would.
No, I'm just saying. You're describing a psychopath.
Okay, so the way I look at it is like, really and truly, sir. Even if, let's just say, you were right this whole time, what choice do I have?
To not worship him.
If I want peace, I want everlasting life.
So
what choice do I have?
So you're admitting right here and right now your worship of God is coerced. You don't actually worship God because you want to. You worship him because you don't really have any other choice. There's a gun to your head, and if you don't worship him, you will face years of endless suffering, eternity of endless suffering. That is a gun to your head. That's not free will.
That's free will, man.
No, it's not. If I break into your house and I hold a gun to your head and I say, "Give me all the money in your drawer," and you give me your money, did you freely make that choice?
No, you forced it.
Okay, so if God has a gun to your head and says, "Do what I want, or I'm going to harm you for all eternity, endless, countless suffering," and you do it, did you make a real choice?
Yes, I made a choice.
Why is one a choice and one is not?
All right. So, it just depends. Do you really want to go deep inside of the Bible, sir?
Yes. Yeah. No, I'd love to, because what you just parlayed to me is a level of logical, is a level of
conundrum.
Unlogical. No, it's just illogical. It's illogical in every way, shape, and form. You're saying that if I threaten you and you do something for me, it's coercion. But if God threatens you and you do something for him, it's not coercion.
Yeah, because it's God.
Lazy apologetics number one. I'm going to create a lazy apologetics counter, and that one that's the first one on the lazy apologetics counter.
Yeah, I can't say anything for God. That's literally just it.
I'm not asking you to say anything for God. Wait, I'm not asking you to say anything for God. I'm asking you to admit that you are being coerced. Separate, if God did not threaten you, which you've already admitted, we don't know that you would believe in him the way you are. You said, what other choice do I have? That means you would make another choice if one existed.
But one doesn't. In reality, one doesn't.
Then you are being coerced.
God is the only answer.
Then you are being coerced, my G.
So wait. All right, so what other choice do you believe that I would have at that moment?
Don't worship a vain God. Allow yourself to go to hell.
And
join Satan's army.
Okay. So
hell, first thing I'll do if I get to hell, I'll be like, Satan, train me up. I'm ready. I'll join your army. Fuck it.
Okay. I understand. But can we both agree that every choice has its consequence, right?
Unless you repent, and then in which case your choice holds zero consequence.
Just for this part, I'm just going to ask, can you give me a yes or no? Every choice has its consequence, no matter what it is?
Yes, unless.
Like, okay.
There is a hard caveat, which is if you repent and truly are sorry for what you did and now put your heart and soul in Jesus, you will face no consequences for fucking genociding people. You won't. If Netanyahu becomes a Christian tomorrow, per your worldview, if he becomes a true Christian who truly believes and he stops everything and blah, 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 and he dies within an hour of this, he will face no repercussions for the genocide of the Palestinian people. If Hitler we don't know, but if Hitler had truly repented prior to, taking out Hitler, he's in heaven now. He faced no consequences for these actions.
Yes, I do agree, 100%.
Then there are no consequences.
There's still a consequence now.
You're telling me there are consequences. What's the consequence? What is the consequence?
Okay. You live your life for Jesus. You live that life, a good life, in the service of others, as you said, and you believe in Jesus Christ. What happens to you? You go to heaven.
If you believe in him,
because you dedicated your life. Yes, if you believe in him, you dedicated your life. You dedicated your life to people. Now, another scenario. You dedicate your life to people, to helping people, but you don't know Jesus Christ. You go to hell for that.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the truth. Because you need to, there is no way through heaven.
Do you think that's fucked up? Do you think that's fucked up?
No, I don't. But then again, sir, it is what it is, honestly.
There's no way. It's not it is what it is. Wait, it's not it is what it is. This is the problem with Christianity. It makes no goddamn sense. The rules are arbitrary. All that matters is that you suckle at the feet of God. And as long as you suckle at the feet of God, you can commit whatever atrocity you want. Doesn't matter. God even commands you to commit them sometimes. You can do anything you want. You can murder.
What atrocity has God ever committed?
He literally commands the Israelites to kill the Canaanites, to slaughter them, to leave no one alive, both man, woman, and child. And then he says you can take their virgins as your sex slaves. Kind of an atrocity, if you ask me.
It is a sex slave.
No, it's just heavily implied. What would be the other reason for specifically taking virgins? It's just heavily implied that they're going to be sex slaves. That seems like an atrocity. I think it's an atrocity when God tells Israelites they can sell their daughters into sex slavery. I think that's kind of fucked up. I think that's an atrocity,
Nah.
You don't
the way I see it.
You don't think selling your daughter into sex slavery is an atrocity?
No, that's not what I said. Myself, I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to do that.
Wait, is it an atrocity? Okay, what if God commanded you to do it?
God wouldn't command me to do that.
He did command people to do it. Here, let me ask you a different question. What if God looked at you and said, take your child up on the mountain and kill them? He's commanded this. Would you do it?
He has commanded that. But what happened in the result?
Well,
he stopped him.
He stopped Abraham, yeah, he didn't
stopped
stop.
him.
He didn't stop Jephthah, though.
He did.
Why didn't
Because
he stop?
he believed.
Wait, he didn't
Because
stop
he
Jephthah.
believed.
He stopped Abraham. He didn't stop Jephthah.
Joseph. Say that again. I'm sorry.
Do you know
cut
who?
out.
Do you know who Jephthah? Do you know who Jephthah is?
Jephthah?
Jephthah.
No, I haven't heard of the name.
Okay. What's funny to me is Christians who've not read the Bible. So Jephthah says, "O Lord, help me win this battle, and if you do, I will kill the first person I see in your name." And Lord helps him win this battle. He gives him the power to win this battle. First person Jephthah sees is his daughter. And you know what Jephthah has to do? And then he does. Why didn't God stop him?
I don't know.
Seems like God is like, dope, kill your kid. And speaking of Abraham killing his kid, when did God stop Abraham?
Yes.
Was Abraham's son already tied to the sacrificial slab?
Yes, he was already on the post.
Okay, and
He
was
on the,
Abraham's
he was
son
on the slab,
watching?
and the knife was coming down.
And the knife was coming
The
down,
knife
right?
was coming down,
So you would tie your child up, and you would throw that knife down with full force, praying God stops you, right?
Yeah. It's the belief. It's faith.
So you as a person, you as a father,
with all
would
of this,
tie your child to a slab and go to slam a knife into their chest if God tells you to.
No, I wouldn't do that because I can't do that. I can't make that sacrifice like he did. I can't.
Okay, so you would go to hell.
Never do
you would disobey God. So if you'll disobey God there, why won't you disobey God in other areas?
Because there was always forgiveness with that. But the one thing I can't, it's just me. I don't have that level of relationship with God. Abraham had that relationship. All Abraham was promised was land from God. He would literally, just think about this, a random voice came into your head basically and told you, if you believe in me, if you have faith in me, I will give you a nation. And he believed it. And his belief was so strong, it led him to do the things that he did. That's commitment that I personally don't have because me, myself, I don't trust people.
No, you don't trust
that's
God.
enough about me.
You don't trust God.
No, I don't trust people.
No, you
I don't trust people.
You don't trust God.
No.
This is God telling you to do
Like
this. This
with
isn't
this,
people.
don't.
This isn't people telling you to do this. This is God telling you to do this. God is saying, this is what I want you to do. You're telling me if God showed up to you and it was truly God and he commanded you and he being God, he can give you whatever evidence you need that he is God and he can show in your heart that he is truly the Lord. And he said, do this, you would say no. And then you would spend eternity in hell.
Oh. Well, with that being said, if you're saying that if he appeared to me and spoke to me and made me believe that this is 100% the de facto one true God.
Yep.
Yes.
Then you would do it.
If it's God, if it's God himself, if this had happened, he would revive my child. Because God is not evil.
So you would do it.
In that case, yes.
You would kill your child.
In that case, yes. In that case, yes. If it is God, yes. 100% yes.
I bet you don't think religion's a cult, right?
Religion, or you're talking about Christianity of itself?
Sure, I bet you don't think Christianity is a cult.
Because I don't think Christianity is a cult. I think realistically, I think Muslims or Islam, that's cultish behavior. But
you just admitted that if your God told you to, you would kill your kid. And you think that's not cultish behavior?
I don't see Christians now killing people.
I see Christians killing people all the time. I see Christians killing people all the time. What are you talking about?
Where? Where? Where do you see Christians killing people?
Is that a joke?
No, I'm serious. No. Tell me, like modern age. Tell me, what Christian is killing people?
Any Christian that signs up for the U.S. military.
Any Christian that signs up to the U.S. military. Okay, I see a bunch of radicalized terrorists in like the Middle East, Afghanistan, Iraq, go over there and blow themselves up in the name of Allah, so they have a promise of 72 virgins. And every single time, I feel no qualms with it, them getting shot in the fucking face. But still, it is what it is.
Okay, so you just ignore what
This
Jesus.
is their belief.
You just ignore what Jesus said then.
About what?
Turning
Not
the other
killing?
cheek. Turning the other cheek. Yeah.
Turning the other cheek?
Yeah.
Turning the other cheek. They always kind of like.
It's fine. Yo,
What's
Dan,
the word
it's
I'm
okay.
looking for?
Just admit you pick and choose. That's fine. Like, just admit you pick and choose.
I don't pick and choose.
Yes,
I don't
you
pick
do.
and choose.
Yes, you do.
I just believe what I believe.
Yes.
No, I believe what I
and
believe.
your beliefs are to pick and choose from the Bible. You don't follow the Bible word for word. You pick and choose what in the Bible is
Right.
accurate.
So let me guess. Let's just say God tells you not to kill anybody, right? That's perfectly fine. From this day, from the time I was born and from the time I went to the military and the time I've been deployed, thank God, have not killed one person. Do you think it's right to kill somebody in the defense of another?
I do, yes, because I don't believe in God.
Well, I don't think God has have a problem with you defending another person, killing somebody in defense of another person.
Well, God also doesn't have a problem with you owning slaves.
Murder.
God also doesn't have a problem with you genociding an entire group of people as long as God deems those people unworthy. God doesn't have a problem with a lot of fucked up things.
As evil, deeming those people as evil.
I'm sorry, were the children of Canaan evil? The children were evil too? The babies of Canaan were also evil.
I can't really speak on that. I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to cop out on that.
I mean, God had them kill the babies. So I would assume the babies were also evil because you just said those people were all evil.
Hold up. I'm trying to be an educated person. Let me try to look it up. Can you give me the verse so I can see this?
Where God says to kill all the Canaanites?
Yes. Can you give me the verse, please?
Sure, hold on.
I forget that we live in a time of Google.
Deuteronomy 20:16 through 18. However, in the cities of the nation, the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance. Do not leave alive anything that breathes. Completely destroy them. The Hittites, Amorites, Canaanites, Perizzites, Hivites, the Jebusites, as the Lord your God has commanded you. Otherwise, they will teach you to follow all the detestable things they do in worshiping their gods, and you will sin against the Lord your God. So, like, do not leave alive anything that breathes would include babies, right?
You said Deuteronomy 23:16?
Deuteronomy 20:16, 18. So, like, just confirming, right? Like, anything that breathes would include babies.
Give me 1 second, sir. Okay. Thus saith the Lord. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you, boss, and you got me on that one. I don't know. I personally don't know.
Yeah, and what about when he tells the Israelites of the Midianites, kill every boy, kill all the boys, kill all the women who have slept with the men, but save for yourself all the virgins. Save for yourself. You get to take the virgins, but kill everybody else.
Well,
Are we cool with that one?
that feels like... No, that mostly seems like they're trying to bring them into the fold itself to create more.
32,000 women who had never slept with men were taken. So it's okay to kill small. It's okay to kill small children if they're boys, but virgins, You just got really upset about the Muslims doing shit when it came to like virgins. But here, now you're like, nah, it's cool. Take all the virgins. Take all those 32,000 virgins for yourself. Do it.
I didn't say it was cool.
So God...
It's just, I have no place to say anything
so
about it.
It's not cool. So God commanded something that was kind of fucked up?
For argument's sake, yes.
Okay. Then I'm not following a God that commands things that are fucked up.
Yep. 100% your choice. But then again, one thing I do want like to take away with this is like there is more that goes on that I personally will never understand and see. But there is more to this.
Well, yeah, because you're not an Israelite, so you're not going to end up in heaven anyway.
Say again, sir?
You're not an Israelite, so you're probably not going to end up in heaven anyway.
Well, it doesn't matter if I'm not an Israelite or not. What is it? I am a Gentile. I'm not an Israelite. I'm not an Israelite at all. I'm not. I was never brought up in a Judaish like household. No, I'm not. But one thing, I do believe in the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and as long as I believe Him, and I believe that He exists and He died for my sins, then I have faith that I will make it into heaven. And like I am comfortable with that, knowing that I have faith in that. That lets me go to sleep at night. Respectfully.
And I can go to sleep at night because I know that I don't worship a genocide-loving, vindictive, vain piece of shit God. I sleep great at night knowing that. I don't have to make concessions for the God that I believe in to be like, yeah, when He did that genocide, it was chill. I don't have to make concessions to go, yeah, when God told people to own slaves, that was dope. I don't have to make concessions to be like, yo, when God killed all those kids, totally fine. I don't have to make concessions like that. And it feels, not to virtue signal, but it feels great.
No, okay, I understand what you're saying. More so, I think that it's a little insane not being able to just believe anything or have faith in anything, though. That means literally life is utterly pointless.
My life's not pointless. Whose life is pointless?
I never said your life didn't have meaning. I'm just saying it just makes life just a little bit more.
No, I think the fact that we only have one go at life makes life way more worth living. If there's infinity, if there is infinity after this, what incentive do I have to do anything on this earth except for praise Jesus? I don't have any incentive to do anything else. Because when I die, it's like bada bing, bada boom. I get infinity. I get a fucking peaceful, worthwhile infinity to do whatever the fuck I want. Why do I have any fucking? What's the point of doing anything here on Earth?
Oh well, that's the whole like takeaway. Nothing on Earth, truly, what you have on Earth truly doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
It's how you treat one another.
Wait, exactly. So this is the difference. This is the difference in our worldview. I believe what we do on the planet matters. You don't.
Yeah, because nothing really matters here.
Yes, so truly, I am not I'm just pointing out, truly, I'm not the nihilist here. You are the nihilist.
Yeah. That's not the first time. Yeah, I do believe I am a nihilist. I'm not going to cap on that one.
Exactly.
But
you want to go to heaven, which, just FYI, heaven, according to the Bible, is the most terrifying sounding place on earth. Or I guess not on earth. It's the most terrifying sounding place in the universe. You want to go there. I don't.
Most terrifying place of...
It's the most terrifying sounding place in the universe.
Where does it say that? Where is that?
Well, think about heaven.
Where did that say that in the Bible?
Sure. Think about heaven critically for more than 2 seconds. Heaven is terrifying.
Are you saying like what it looks like, what it entails?
No, the fact that in order to live in heaven, you have to become a zombie. You your free will has to be stripped from you. You become a zombie. You become a mindless drone whose only purpose is to feed God through worship. I assume God like feeds off of the worship, like it's what provides him sustenance. You can't make choices because
you make him sound like a damn like horror monster.
It is.
That's not what it is.
Heaven is. You can't make choices in heaven, right? There's no free will because you can't make a bad choice. There is no ability for evil to exist in heaven. There's no ability for bad to exist in heaven. There's no ability for suffering to exist in heaven. So you are stripped of all the free will that you have here on earth. That doesn't exist in heaven. We also know this because angels don't have free will, right? They're also in heaven, right? You don't have free will there. You have to look at biblically accurate angels all day, which is also fucking terrifying. So there are giant monster creatures that you look at all the time. There's also the fact that your memory has to be wiped. You can't have any memory of Earth because you can't have any memory of anything that makes you sad. So anything that made you sad in heaven or sad on Earth has to be wiped from your memory. Or God makes it so you're not sad about those things anymore, which means you're not you anymore. You're somebody else because now your emotions are reacting differently to your memories than they would have had you been remembering them of your own free will. Even take that a step further. Let's say you do have a kid and your kid dies and goes to hell. So you know your kid is suffering for all eternity. Well, I know for me at least, I would suffer knowing my child is suffering and being punished for all eternity. Right? That would cause me suffering, but suffering doesn't exist in heaven. So do I just forget my kid exists? Or do I no longer give a shit about my kid anymore? Either way, suffering. Like either way is fucked up. Heaven is terrifying. There is no universe in which heaven is a good place to be.
So what would be the alternative with your logic? What would be the alternative?
I mean, my preferred alternative to that is nothing. I would rather experience
nothing.
I would rather experience ends than experience that for all of eternity.
Well, still, but sir, you can't choose nothing. Nothing is not a choice. Something is a choice.
I mean, I believe nothing is the only choice we're given. You don't. I believe nothing's the only choice we're given. But at least in heaven, I still have all my emotions. At least in heaven, in hell. At least in hell, I still have all my emotions. At least in hell, I'm still me. At least in hell, I can still get angry. I can still experience grief.
What do you think hell is? What do you think hell is?
Per Jesus, hell is a place of fire and brimstone created for the devil and his angels. Jesus describes hell as a real place of eternal fire. Like he describes it as that in Matthew.
Yeah.
It's a real place. Like, sure. I doubt hell is like that. It seems weird that Lucifer breaks free of God's will, convinces us to break free of God's will, and then because we're doing the thing he wants us to do, he's now going to follow God's command and punish us for doing the thing. No, I doubt. Hell probably is nothing like that. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't logically follow. Like Lucifer wanted to break free of God's will. He wanted us to break free of God's will so he could then just start performing God's will again. God wants heaven to be this place. He wants heaven to be a place where we suffer and face eternal anguish. So Lucifer, who does not want to follow God, is now following that? That don't make sense.
Wait, hold on. 1 second, sir. 1 second, sir. Do I have enough time to keep speaking?
I can give like 5 more minutes.
Nah, just go ahead, man. Actually, yeah, I'll say this real quick. Man, I truly believe, just to close it all out, that legitimately you do have a choice. You do have a choice, and I really hope you can see that. Following God is not about your own logic and understanding. It is legitimately about having faith. Because a lot of the things may not make sense to you. It may not. But this is going to sound crazy. If you have faith and actually read the book, not as a gotcha, but more as a guideline to your life, you will have a better understanding of God itself, God himself.
Homie, I
I'm just going.
I just want to point out that I have a better understanding of the Bible than you do. I've read the book.
Read the book.
Yeah.
And you're saying what you're saying after reading the book.
I'm saying what I'm saying because I read the book. The book is what made me go, this dude's fucked up. When I read, slaughter anything alive, don't leave anything that breathes, and then take the virgins for yourself, my first thought is not, let me worship this dude for all eternity. My first thought is, fuck that hoe.
Oh, then I guess I'm insane then. I like to keep it as such.
Possibly.
But
Religious
still.
psychosis is a thing.
So you have a blessed day, okay?
And you have a day.
You have a good day, all right, boss?
You as well have a day.
Yep. Bye.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. In order to truly believe in God, you got to just stop thinking critically, guys. Just that being your ending thing is, hey, the reason, if you want to think about God, you just can't think, man. Crazy. Abracadabra to you as well, Dan. Imagine putting your kid on a slab on a mountain and then grabbing a knife and shoving it to go into your kid's chest. It doesn't go in, but then God stops you. And then for the rest of your life, you just got to look at your kid like, yeah, about that, dude. Sorry, man. I don't know what to tell you. God told me. God told me to kidnap you and tie you to the slab and do all that. He told me to, so I had to, man. I don't know what to tell you. Christian son or thought daughter is so funny. I'd rather a thought daughter any day than a Christian son. Ugh, God. Okay. This sickness is getting the sickness is getting crazy, bro. All the calls are about God. Yeah. Sorry to the callers. I just don't want to talk about God anymore. I've been talking about God for 2.5 hours. So I do apologize. I'm going to drop those in the queue because I've talked about God enough. I think next stream we'll do an entire Trump board. So it'll just be 4 Donald Trump topics. I'm going to live forever. No, I like if someone says have a blessed day to just respond with, and you too, have a day. Why aren't I playing the new Pokemon game? Is it only for Switch 2? Is it on Switch 1? I don't. I do think Arceus, Legends Arceus was my favorite game. It's Arceus, not Arceus, by the way. I just don't, It's on Switch 1, but it's just one city. Yeah, then what the fuck? I don't know, tip so I can buy a Switch 2. I'm just kidding. Ow, my back. I'm gonna live forever. I'm gonna learn how to fly. Huh. I see it coming together. Ugh. Is Trump the healthiest president? Oh my God. Have you seen the black spot from Pirates of the Caribbean on the back of Trump's hand? That motherfucker must be terrified of water. Oh my God. Crazy. Ugh. What's my favorite Digimon? Angelomon. Oh shit. No. It's probably Omnimon. I mean, Omnimon came out when I was a kid and saw the Digimon movie, and I said, this motherfucker is goated, bro. Digimon are so weird. There's no amount of money you could pay me to stop singing. Sorry. Price doesn't exist. You want to lay down some backing vocals for my album? Nah, my fee is too high. Oh God. Okay. Well, we're gonna bring in Phoenix. Phoenix apparently is gonna tell me how Trump improved the economy. That's gonna be hilarious to see. Phoenix, what's your age and pronouns, please?
Well, I'd rather not actually say my age.
Why?
Let's go with 1,000.
Okay, can you just give me your pronouns, please? I don't feel like playing the game at this point.
Dude. Go with dude. That's hip with the young people nowadays.
I at this point I just don't care. I want to get into the debate. Okay. Can you tell me specifically by what metric Trump has improved the economy?
Well, he's selling all the old school military assets that are going off to war.
Okay, that didn't tell me by what metric he's improved the economy. I'm asking what like economic metric shows improvement. Hello?
So he's basically selling old, discontinued military items.
Okay.
To foreign
I'm
governments,
asking by what
getting rid
marker, hold on. I'm asking by what marker that we use to measure economic success would we show an improvement due to Trump's policies?
I'm sorry, I had to get off the live stream there. It was backfeeding.
Okay.
So basically, Trump has been able to sell more of military assets that are going to expire.
Okay. My question still isn't being answered, though. By what metric that we measure economic success is Trump specifically doing better? Like, are we doing better in that is directly contributed to a Trump policy?
I'm not exactly sure which part of a Trump policy you are referring to. I do know for scrap metals have gone up quite a bit. Those who also invested in gold and silver also have gone up quite a bit recently.
Okay, so the economy is doing better for a small minority of people. Because when I look at economic factors right now, I show that our deficit is rising. I show that our inflation is kicking up in a lot of sectors, 22% for grocery, 18% for home electricity. I show that unemployment is drastically lowering. Lowering is in like getting worse. Unemployment is getting worse. I'm just trying to figure out what metric. Like, Americans don't have the spending power that they used to.
Yeah, you can definitely pick a metric you want to debate on. And I don't know how many people really own gold or silver. I would think that most people at least own silver, which has doubled.
I would argue most people probably don't own it.
Took office.
I would actually argue most people probably don't own any silver.
Okay, well, let the comment section take that one over. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. It was definitely the best thing to own. Previous Republican, not including Trump, to own. And unfortunately, that was over 20 years ago, so I guess not many people really know about it. However, inflation did go up under the last administration as well.
We were in the middle of COVID, so yeah. Inflation went up globally, and our inflation went up in line with global trends. But because of the last administration, we were able to become the quickest country in the G7 to bounce back economically.
Yes, excluding outside of the G7. Yeah, you're absolutely right. We were.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't include countries outside the G7 because they don't have the same structured or size economy as we do. That's why we look at G7 countries.
Okay. true. I think there's definitely a good learning experience from that.
Well, yeah, it's probably don't let people like Trump mishandle COVID. You know?
Yeah, but also at the same time, like why let someone, as the previous administration did, run the way they ran? It also doesn't make any sense.
Sure. What negative things do you think we experienced as a country due to the previous administration?
Gosh, I don't know. A figurehead that couldn't really speak to what was going on in the world and didn't.
You're describing Donald Trump.
Wasn't able to really even. Yeah, that too. He makes mistakes. And
I'm asking what specific policies implemented by the Biden administration saw to net negatives for the American people in like whatever metric you want to analyze.
Sorry, this is taking a moment. They're old notes. Okay, so I apologize for the silence.
You're fine.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually was way more prepared for biblical conversation, but
I just think it's, it's a little interesting that you didn't like the last administration, but you don't necessarily know what of the policies implemented by the last administration that you don't like.
So my problem with Biden's policies, and this is actually going back, quite a while ago. It was in the very beginning where he had this whole policy about like building from the middle out and bottom up, and it never happened.
What do you mean by what do you mean? What does that mean? Because we did a bunch of bottom up building. We had started building chip plants because of the Chips and Sciences Act. We increased our infrastructure builds because of the infrastructure bill. Like, what didn't come to fruition?
Well, those were more expensive than they were overseas.
Well, yes, they were expensive, but when we look at deficit spending, Trump's spending more and building a higher deficit than Biden did, while also simultaneously not getting done in the infrastructure Biden did or the manufacturing that Biden did. We actually, in his first term, we lost manufacturing under Trump. I would be surprised if we get it back in this term.
Well, maybe if they do increase the rate of pay, it would be worthwhile for people to purchase things that are more expensive.
Cool. Trump doesn't want to increase minimum wage. At least Biden said he wanted to. Whether he did or didn't, Trump doesn't want to increase minimum wage.
Well, no, Biden did increase minimum wage.
No, I know. I said he wanted to. He didn't. I'm saying at least he said he wanted to. Trump doesn't even want to. And if we want to put more money back into people's pockets, Trump is actively not doing that. I mean, he lowered the child tax credit. That's not putting more money back into people's pockets. Tariffing our agricultural, like tariffing other countries to where they're hitting us back agriculturally and raising grocery prices 22% is not putting money back in Americans' pockets.
They're putting money back into the farmers' pockets, though.
No, farms are experiencing record bankruptcies right now. 55% of American farms are going bankrupt. I think it's 55%. I had to look at the actual number.
But isn't that why he's raising the prices on domestic products?
Raising the prices on domestic products would be bad. That leads to more inflation.
That would put more money into the farmers' pockets.
No, it wouldn't. Not if the farms don't exist anymore.
Okay, so if they don't exist, obviously they're not producing. I'm talking about farms that are existing that now are getting more money because the tariffs went up for the imports.
No, farms are doing worse right now. Farms are doing worse right now. They're not doing better.
Well, okay, I understand they're doing worse because this is now taking effect that it costs more to import, correct?
What? No. They're doing bad because they're not exporting as much. We went from being the world's global leader in soybean production to now not being that anymore. So all that money is gone.
I don't eat soybeans.
No, they were an export. We exported
farmers
them.
produce locally.
Wait, we exported soybeans. It was one of our major agricultural exports.
I wasn't talking about exports. I was talking about people in America that grow food for America. That's what I was talking about. Right?
When we talk about farms, it's not just local farms, right? It's all U.S. agricultural, like all U.S. agricultural manufacturing and whatnot.
Exactly. Not just soybeans. I don't know why you focused on soybeans.
Because I'm using it as an example to show how hard farms are getting hit.
Because soybeans are less expensive in other countries that we were exporting to because of the tariffs.
Okay. No. Because we placed tariffs on China. China said, we're not going to buy your soybeans anymore, which means that soybean production in the U.S. drastically decreased, thus removing a large section of U.S. revenue because we no longer make money off of soy. Right? I don't remember what country, maybe it was Brazil that took up the slack. And we don't get that anymore. Soybeans are not just like a product you eat. They're also in like a metric ton of products. And then we can look at like local farms, which are being hit. Argentina, thank you, chat. We can look at local farms that are being hit and see how, because those farms are losing their workers, local farms that produce U.S. agricultural needs are also going out of business. Hence why our grocery prices are up 22%. In some areas, it's up way more. Coffee's up like 100%.
Right. Those are different categories of agriculture. Right?
Yes, but they're all part of a broad picture.
Okay, so you're only focusing on the parts that are
Wait, I'm sorry. Are you driving?
Specific to what's down. No.
Okay. Sorry, it sounded like you were driving.
Yeah, it actually does sound like I'm driving. Weird. Anyway, what do you think about the corn prices?
What do you think about the corn prices?
Right.
I don't, what do you want me to, what am I supposed to think about the corn prices?
Do you have anything bad to say about it?
I haven't
not bad.
I haven't directly looked at like whether corn is like up at the moment.
Because being a major soybean producer really hasn't been a big staple. There's more corn in everything that funds the U.S. economy than there is soy.
Okay.
And that's been going on for, I think, decades now, actually.
Okay.
You know, it even goes into the fuel.
I don't.
High fructose corn syrup.
I don't
comes from corn.
I don't know what the point of this conversation is.
That you're pointing out certain aspects very specific to certain agricultural aspects.
Yeah.
That are actually not completely encompassing the real full situation going on right now.
No, that's what you're
we
doing.
We grow more corn.
I'm looking at an overall. I'm looking at an
world.
overall metric. I'm showing that U.S. agriculture is facing overall massive negatives. You're looking at one aspect and seeing that aspect is experiencing, I assume, a positive. I would assume, if that's why you're bringing it up. But overall, farms are experiencing a negative. They're experiencing record bankruptcies right now.
Yeah, they were experiencing the same during the Biden administration.
They weren't. They were at the start because, again, of Trump's trade war with China. But, you know, that's all I got. That's all I got. I got to end this one. That's all I have here. I'm sorry. I can't keep doing it. I'm too exhausted. I'm over here struggling to keep my fucking eyes open. This cold is like really starting to fucking run through me. So I'm gonna call it there, dude. I need a fucking break. Thank you guys for chilling out with me today. Thank you for being here. I'm at my like hella limit. I can feel it. I can feel that I've just declined. Thanks, YouTube. It's been fun. Twitch. I'm so